Glock replica. Whatever. I may cut all this out. I don't know yet. Depends how spicy I'm feeling. Depends how tired I am when I edit. Ooh. All right, guys. So we got some proper equipment now. I got some actual, as you can see there, you can tell by the way it looks. It says it's a grinding wheel instead of using
metal, not wood.
instead of using old Flappy. We wore that poor bastard out. Yeah, so we got some Harbor Freight grinding wheels for old James to do some cleaning. Let's see what else we got. Oh, we got our chop saw. I don't remember if I mentioned getting that or not, but I didn't get blades for it because I'm an idiot. So I got a couple blades this week. So now we can make perfectly straight cuts and not have to use the death wheel on the angle grinder and get a wobbly cut and grind it for 30 minutes with that same death wheel to try to get a desired result. So yeah, today James, I'm gonna let James kind of focus on that. If he needs a hand, then I'll help him, but I'm gonna let him get down to the dirty on this. So
Chris, if he wakes up.
Yeah. I need to go check on Chris. He's just resting his eyes.
He's got his jammies on and his eye patch.
His eye patch. So the main thing for today is we're gonna get the crossbars put in here, and then I mean it's 10 in the morning, so we should be able to get to the point where we can get the crossbars and get the new seat tabs in there, and at least get the seats sat in there and get us a center point. Maybe get the dash hung if we're on our game. We'll see how that goes. While James is doing all that, I'm gonna get on the wiring, get this rat's nest straightened out. The most common way, if any of y'all are doing the swap and look up the wiring part of it, if you're doing it yourself, you'll see a lot of people use the four fuse, 4-wire method. In that you need one constant fuse and 3 switched fuses, and a main relay that turns those on, and then a fuel pump relay. Well, since I'm using this, I already have a fuel pump relay and it's already pre-wired, so I'm probably going to use that. These oranges are constants, so there's my constant fuse. And then I only have 2 pink fuses, so I'm gonna try to find another pink or figure out if I can combine a couple more things and make them into one fuse. But other than that, that's about all I got left on this. Getting those adapted up, getting the grounds brought together with those grounds, and then splicing in the O2 sensors. And there was one other thing. Oh yeah, the leads that go down to the crank sensor and the starter wire that go down right there. And the coolant splice. I gotta splice the coolant sensor, make it a little longer. But it's early, we got started. We don't have any running around to go deter us for 5 hours of going to town and doing this and that and the other.
We have a pit bike interruption.
Yeah, we might have a pit bike interruption, but I'll make that a separate video so I can get y'all one good meaty video. I didn't. So our entire fuel system is here. Our fuel pump is here. I know it says TI, that kind of got me, but I guess they're the manufacturer of Walbro. It's a Walbro 255, and then we got all our tank fittings. These are what will screw on to the new sending unit I got, since I found out James was the one that twisted the one we had, even though it was already cut off, so we needed a new one anyways. But anyways, we have everything for the fuel system. So I really just want to knock out like getting the interior hung up, at least to where it can be mounted, get the mounts figured out, and get the wiring fucking done, because I'm tired of wiring. And then we can move on to the fuel pump. And our drop kit from IHC finally came in. It's all there and a half. We went with the 5.7, so got that coming up, but I don't want to drop the truck just yet, because we still have to get under it a couple more times to do the drive shaft, put it back in, and then I got to clip in like the wiring on the transmission, and then the fuel filter and pump and all that, well, the fuel lines. So I'm gonna be a big brain guy and not lower the truck, so I have to jack it up every time I get under it until after I'm done with all that. So without further ado, I'm gonna try to set up a camera on James, and then I'll update. I'm tired of boring y'all with wiring, so we're gonna time-lapse James, and then I'll update here and there on the wiring, and we'll see if 2 camera angles isn't a little more interesting for us. So here we go. Alright, so as far as the harness goes, I feel like I didn't get much done, but I kind of did. So the crank position sensor wire and starter wire, I ran those out, loomed them up. I put this this nice expandable looming on it, and I melted the shit out of it when I put a heat shrink over it to, you know, capture it. So I was like, okay, maybe this isn't heat rated at all. So I went ahead and just put this cheesy looming over it, on top of it, just pinched it down in a couple spots. And then all I got to do is put a ring terminal on this to go on the starter solenoid. So that part of the harness is done. What else did I do today? Oh, I loomed up the coolant temp sensor, extended it, moved it out here. I think I made it a tad too long, but it'll be okay. I think I'll end up putting some of this size looming over this stretch of the harness. That way it's just kind of looks a little better. And then what else? I did something else. What else did I do? Oh, I loomed up the on the passenger side, how I had the AC leads in there. I went ahead and loomed that and put some of that looming over that. So that's all nice and pretty. Got the injectors, the coil plug, and then up here we got the AC deal, and that'll come out right here. And then the driver's side looks like this. So this is what it looks like with that looming on it. This is what it looks like without. So I'll go ahead and run that over this. So that's all wrapped up. This goes under the throttle body, That's wrapped up. So all I got left is the O2 sensors and the switch hots. And looking at how the guide I go off of, they condense into a 16 gauge lead. And I was gonna use these are 20 gauge. I checked them, so that's not gonna work. So I went ahead, it was only like 20 bucks altogether for the 4-pin connector, the 2 relays with pins, and then the relay holders, and then the relays. So I went ahead and ordered that. Amazon said it's gonna be 1-day shipping, so tomorrow's Sunday. Hopefully that holds true and it shows up tomorrow. I'll finish that part of it tomorrow. So basically what I'm leaving myself to do tomorrow, because I'm already burned out from the little bit that I did, is getting the O2 sensors, getting the plugs spliced onto them, and then I'm actually going to drag. Another reason I decided on doing the 4 fuse thing, the battery's going to be here, and then if you'll notice, the bulk of all these switch hot leads are in this curve of the harness that goes right here. So basically all I got to do is run those. I think I'm going to put them right here on the firewall. So basically all I would have to do is just simplify. These will simplify into 2 wires, and they'll come back through here. That way I only have 2 wires coming back instead of all these going that way. These 2 wires will come back, and all these will pretty much, I'll probably loom them in here somewhere, pinch them, and they'll come up and out of the loom to that fuse block that I'm going to make, and relays. And then all I have to do is run 1 constant wire from the main relay. There's going to be a fuel pump relay and a main relay right there, which I'll just rob the wires off of that one, splice it up, and the battery will be right here. So I'll just run a hot wire, just kind of hide it, and run it to the battery right there. And then I'll just have to run the factory cable that comes from the battery and goes all the way over here to power up the truck stuff. And thinking about it more, that's probably a better idea, because that way the stuff that belongs to the truck is separate completely electrically from the stuff that runs the motor. I think that's a pretty good idea, because that way, you know, if we have a problem with the engine fuses or something, we think, check the fuses. There's only 4 to check, and they'll all be right here to do with the motor. I think that's a little easier to deal with than running it over here and all that shit. So I'm gonna plan on tomorrow. I will definitely get that part finished up, and if I get the O2 sensors put on and get that fuse block wired up, then I'll set the harness in here, kind of snap everything in place. If I'm happy with the way it sits, that'll be it for the engine harness, and I'll go through and final tape everything up, loom it all up, and then if I have time and feel like it, I'll get this stuff cleaned up. I'm gonna keep these leads because these are switched hot and they're already ran to a fuse. So all I'm gonna do is just kind of belt cap these and hide them under there. So if we ever need a key hot accessory or something like that, we already have a fuse for it. And then that'll probably be it for the wiring. We'll finally be done with that. As far as James's progress for today, he got the seat rail, I don't know what we're gonna call this, rail bracket,
Seat bracket,
whatever. We made it happen. He did all the welding and cutting and measuring and
lots of grinding.
Lots of grinding. He ground all the stuff. The welds might not be the prettiest, but most of them were pretty good. Yeah,
Towards the end, they started getting a lot better.
Yeah, he was definitely progressing. I mean, that's all it takes is just time and practice. So
Just learn all your variables.
got a lot of that today. So we'll probably just toss a little bit of black paint on all these fresh pieces of metal, that way it don't rust up on us. And then we got to do a little bit of work of cutting the tabs off of this seat.
Taking apart that one.
Yeah, we haven't taken this one apart yet. And yeah, so that's your update for today. We're pretty happy with this. The bolts sit in, it sits in place, it hovers right over the transmission hump, everything's square. So we're real happy with this. This gives us a real good base to put tabs on and do, like, we'll basically have bolts that will bolt down into this that will be tabs that go to the seat. So that'll probably be next time. That and some wiring. Hopefully we'll only have one more wiring video. I'll be done with that shit. I'm so tired of wiring, but I'm right there. I'm pretty well done with it. Yeah, big time wah. I could have just sprung the 1200 and bought the Holley Terminator and not had to fuck with it. But yeah, that's gonna be it for now. We're about burned out. But yeah, we're gonna play with the bikes now. James got his old humdinger out here. He's got her about polished up. He's got a chain that needs some adjusting. So maybe we'll make a little video about adjusting a chain. As you can tell, it's real tight.
With a link or two taken out.
Yep. What color did you say this was? Infinity?
It's liquid platinum metallic. It's a infinity color.
Ooh. You got lucky. Your motor is like really clean, and mine's like burnt out.
That's why it was double the price of yours.
Ah, good point. Good point. That's why mine was found in a junkyard. But anyways, that's it for this one. Hope y'all enjoyed. Got a little bit done. We've got basically, after this weekend, we have exactly 2 months until Slamboree. And I have the goal of taking this truck there, driving it there, dropped with the motor running, with the interior in it. So I think a lot of you subscribers, the newer guys, are from the Texas area. If y'all come up to Slamboree, it's a pretty big show here in Oklahoma. It's actually really close to my house. We're gonna be doing everything we can to take this truck to that show. By the time it gets there, it'll be dropped. It'll have the interior swap, motor running, camming, blah, 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 all the way pulling in there, feeling like we're on top of the world. And yeah, so if y'all want to see it in person, that's probably the first time you'll get to see it in public. And we hope to have some merch by then, so we can sell you guys a shirt or sticker, or sign you a shirt, or sign your makeshift parts, or James will sign your titties, or just kidding. Whatever. Yeah, so there you go. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know how much you liked it or didn't like it. If you think I'm stupid, if you think I suck, if your uncle has, if your uncle's best friend's cousin has this High Country interior swap already done, send me a picture of that, so I actually believe you and just don't think you're just talking shit. So, oh.
Fuck your uncle.
No, that's Arkansas. These guys are from Texas. Anyways, y'all have fun. Drop a comment, talk some shit, whatever you want to do. Love y'all, and stay tuned for the next one. Peace.